All right, employee retention credit scams. Now, anytime the IRS does something, there are people out there that want to scam you on, calling up and saying, give us money and we'll make these claims for you. There's a lot of CPAs that can't do this. This is like asking a family practitioner to do brain surgery on the president of the United States or something. Like, they're going to say no. Obviously, that they're not trained in that. They haven't read all the documentation. Most CPAs read to a certain point and say, oh, well, this looks like my clients wouldn't even qualify for this. And they stop right there, even though if they would have read on another 40 pages, they'd find, oh, wait a second, under this clause, my clients do qualify. So anyway, CPAs are not the expert on ERC, employee retention credits, and you really want to work with a specialist. So I'm going to link, or I'm just going to play a video when this video ends. So give me a few more seconds and I'll play a video for you that will introduce you to the brain surgeons, the absolute experts in this industry. They've done over $4 billion in ERC claims. They work closely with the IRS. They are the only, out of the top 10 ERC specialty firms, the only firm that is a CPA firm. But even though they're a CPA firm, they specialize only in ERC. So they're not out doing other CPA work. They're not distracted and splintered. They've focused specifically on this. They've read all the documentation. They understand it very well. They've developed proprietary software to help streamline everything and make sure that there are no errors. And they're just doing incredible work. Only 10% of businesses have applied for ERC because they think they don't qualify, or they're worried about the scams. If someone is contacting you and saying, I can do this, you just have to pay me up front and all that, there's several things that you want to look for. Okay, the people I'm going to introduce you to in the video that follows this carry $1 million E&O insurance for each client. That means that they're insured. It's basically like a contractor who's insured and bonded, opposed to some guy saying he's a handyman. You pay him $10,000 now and he'll come back and fix your roof tomorrow, and then you never see him again, right? That's basically the kind of scams that are happening in this, is that people are getting money from the business. And I've heard of $5,000, I've heard $10,000, I've heard $15,000, all kinds of things. But the business is paying this huge amount up front, and then they go and just disappear. So you don't want to do that. Now, there's several other things. I'll just let the video explain it. But you're going to see several things in this video that explain how my friends at Jorns and Associates are not a scam. They're legitimate. They've got everything to back them up. They carry insurance. They're certified CPAs. They give a 5-year guarantee. So if you were ever to be audited for receiving the ERC, they're there to back you up. And a lot of things like that. And they're very big. They're out there everywhere. You can look them up. You can look into them. You can do your research on them. Make sure that you're not getting scammed, but you also want to make sure that you're going with the best, because on average, they get their clients 20% more than their next biggest competitor in ERC. So even if you find someone who offers a lower commission rate for their take on the ERC, you'll likely end up with less money in your pocket going with anyone else than you would with Jorns and Associates, because even if they take a higher percentage, they're getting you a bigger pile of cash. So at the end of the day, when they walk away with their percentage, there's still more money in your pocket than if you went with someone else. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Unless you're weird and you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, you want to sabotage yourself and your own success by saying, I just don't want someone else to get a fair chunk of my money, even if they can do a better job for me, even if they can leave more money in my pocket. just on principle. I don't like anybody else to have that. So I'm going to resist that. I'm going to withhold. I'm going to, give a smaller commission to someone else so that I'm just giving a smaller commission away. But at the end of the day, I get less too. That doesn't make any sense. So check them out, and you get what you pay for. So their rates are average, they're common, but that's one of the things I've discovered with a lot of the scams is people are competing on price. So they're like, oh, well, we can do it for cheaper, and then they take your money and run. And so it's not worth it. Hope you do well. Watch this video. It's going to blow your mind. And there's a link in the description for you to learn more about Jorns & Associates. And you can always visit the web address on this video. And I hope that helps.
Hello, this is Tony with Jorns & Associates. Today we'll be discussing the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. The ERC was first introduced in the $2.1 trillion CARES Act back in March of 2020. It earmarked up to $26,000 per employee for business owners who kept employees hired during the pandemic. This is a fully refundable tax credit against the employer portion of Social Security payroll taxes or the Medicare tax, depending on the period you're filing for. It's paid to you directly via a check. It's not a loan. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. You don't have to pay it back. And these funds are not earmarked. You don't need to use them for payroll or operating expenses. The ERC can be utilized at the discretion of the business owner. You claim the ERC by filing an amended 941X quarterly payroll tax return, claiming your credits on lines 18 and 26. There's several misconceptions about the ERC. Many owners do not think they'll qualify because they did not have a revenue decline, or maybe their revenue increased during the pandemic. Maybe they didn't experience any shutdowns, or they received PPP loans and those loans were forgiven. And while these are factors in the process, they certainly do not disqualify your business from receiving the ERC funds. The qualification process is extremely thorough. Our team will go through gross receipts, revenue sectors. We'll look at your day-to-day operations, your supply chain, basically how the pandemic affected your day-to-day business throughout 2020 and 2021. The scope of engagement is pretty straightforward. You can connect us with your CPA, your bookkeeper, payroll team, so we can get all the documents necessary to file the ERC on your behalf. You'll complete our basic client questionnaire, get us any PPP loan information, provide us with your original 941 returns, so then we can file the 941X amended returns with the IRS and claim the ERC funds. We do not guarantee any specific refund amount until we have all your payroll data and we can run the calculations. We do guarantee that our calculations are accurate. We do guarantee that our filings with the IRS as a paid preparer are compliant with program rules and regulations. And we do provide long-term audit support and carry E&O Insurance with up to $1 million per client. The service fee structure creates zero risk for business owners who decide to work with Jorns & Associates. We have a contingency fee of 20% on the amount of credits delivered, and we charge a fully refundable deposit of $2,600 due at signing. If for whatever reason your company does not qualify for the ERC program, we refund the $2,600 immediately. If you do qualify, then we'll invoice you for the 20% contingency fee minus the $2,600 deposit you paid at signing. So that is credited towards your fee. So if you get paid by the IRS, you owe us money. If you don't get any money from the IRS, you owe us nothing. We have software performed calculations to eliminate human error, and we have a fully audit-ready package, which includes our compliance services. If you want to move forward with our ERC program, the associate that you're working with can send you an engagement letter that you can sign, remit the fully refundable deposit, provide us with your completed questionnaire and the required documents, your revenue spreadsheet, the 941s, the payroll documents, your PPP loan details. We'll have an onboarding specialist assigned to your file so you have a point of contact to help you through this process from beginning to end. Our CPAs will prepare all the filing documents, send it over for your team to review. The documents will be signed, mailed to the IRS, and in approximately 14 to 20 weeks, you'll receive your check from the IRS. Once you get paid, we'll have you pay us the remaining balance for the contingency fee, and that's due after you get your check. There's plenty of information about the ERC on the irs.gov website. You have to go through all the different PDFs, and you can also review the CARES Act, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, and now the new infrastructure bill will have an effect on the guidance. So you have to keep up with everything, which our team will do that on your behalf. The bottom line is there's over $1 trillion earmarked right now for businesses just like yours. And right now, that $1 trillion+ is sitting in the United States Treasury's account. Connect with one of our associates today and let us help you move those funds out of the Treasury's account and into your business account where they truly belong.